You are welcome back, and now we'll be looking at Alight motion proper. Now, you want to click on the plus icon, and you'll be greeted with this, right? You'll be greeted with this, and what you have here, all of these numbers and sizes are basically the size of your frames. What's the size of the video that you want? 16 by 9, like a YouTube size. 9 by 16, that's more like a portrait size for like a TikTok and Instagram reels, more like reels. 4 by 5 is more like Insta portraits, right? It's like a shorter version of reels in a way. 1 by 1 Instagram formal post size. 4 by 3 is quite larger than 16 by 4, it has more space, yeah. And you can just create a customized one if you have a particular aspect ratio you're trying to work with. And that's that about that. Beneath it, you have what we call the resolution. For the resolution, that basically better resolution ranging from 180p up to 1440. And I think for the newer versions now, I think they included 4K. Like, I really do not think that's really necessary. 1080p is quite okay. It's a very good quality if you're able to ensure that you maintain that quality when you're exporting and when you're sending or transferring to whatever it is you want to use it for. That quality is amazing. And if you need something more, you can go for 1440, but it comes with a larger file size, right? So that's about that. I would advise you, if you are making any video, any animation whatsoever, the least you should use is 720. But no, that 720 is a much lesser quality for a video. So it's a yeah it's a, like a base, but when you have it at 1080, yeah, it gives you that sharp and very crisp looking video. Then you have your frame rate. For the frame rate, you don't really need to worry much about it, but it basically means how the number of frames you have per seconds, right? That's what the FPS is, frame per seconds. So number of frames that you have per second, and you don't need to bother much about this. 30 frame per second is really nice. If you want it very 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 smooth, you can use 60 FPS, but also because of the larger size, and it's going to be more faster anyway because it's going to be more faster because you're having like 60 frames per second as compared to 30 frames per second. So that's basically about that. Now for the background, you have transparent, you have black, white, light gray, green, and blue. So basically, when I want to start my project, I usually go with transparent, and that's why it's on transparent currently. So for this project, we're clicking 9 by 16, and I want to name this for this particular class we're having. So let's name it Alight, or let us do Alight motion, Alight motion, then M masterclass, AMM01, right? Let's name that and create a project. Now you created a project and you'll be welcome with this screen. If you should pinch, you can zoom, you can reduce, you can do whatever you like. And most times when I start adding elements to it, you might not be able to do that. And just click. Let's say now I bring in a shape. So you see this icon up here. You see this icon up here. Yes. So that icon, you use that to. By the time you click it, it turns into green. That's to tell you that it is on. So you can now zoom, right? You can now zoom and do whatever it is that you want to do. So that's that about the zoom. You'll be needing it. That's why I'm explaining it now before I get started, because as we go on, you will notice my frame is becoming bigger and I'm not clicking anything on the screen. Basically, I'm just pinching in and pinching out. So that's that about that. Now, how do we start? Everything you want to do on Alight motion, right? um is going to revolve around this plus icon. Hello. Okay, I hope it's working. So everything is going to revolve around I think I should be using arrow instead, because it's going to revolve around this plus icon. As long as you want to bring something into the animation, into the design, into this frame, you are going to be using this plus icon most of the time. So that's that about that. Two, let me explain what this all of this is up here, what is for. So I'm sorry. Okay, excuse me. So this means this is to undo. Let's say let's imagine I brought in a rectangle, oh sorry, a circle, right? I brought in a circle, I placed it here. You see, something just happened right now. My hand mistakenly clicked it and it just shrinked, and that was not where I placed it. Clicking on the back button is going to undo that action, and that's basically what that does. Likewise, the next button means to redo. It goes back to the previous to the action before that here. So I hope you understand. Redo, undo, redo, undo. That's basically what the two is for. Now let's move to the end of the frame. So this is at 2 seconds currently. Now I'm at the end of the frame. What this is doing, I think I should change the color to red. Yes, what this is doing, right, is like taking you to the next to the nearest stamped frame, or to the beginning of the frame. Now I'm going to explain what I mean by stamped frame and beginning of the frame. If sorry, let me close this up. I want to close this. Sorry. Oh, okay. Let's say I close this up. Now let's say to add a stamp, you just click on the timer. It turns into red. You move to another place, you click on the timer, it turns into red. I will tell you how useful this is in another video. Now, if I should click on if I should click on this, if I should click on this, now what it does is it goes to the next back. It goes back to the nearest stamped frame, nearest stamped frame. But if there were no stamped frame, let me remove all the stamp. Same thing for this one. Same thing for this one right here. It does the same. When I click it, it goes to the forward, time for forward, time for forward here. So when there are no stamped frames, let's say there are no stamped frame, let me move the stamp frame. So it's not stamped anymore, and I should click any of them. It just goes to the beginning or to the end, to the extreme beginning or extreme end. So that's basically the action. That's basically the action. Now this other one, this here, yes, I hope you can see this particular one here. What does it do? This particular one is, it gives you more options, like duplicating, saving it as a preset, copying that layer, pasting the layer, pasting the style. All of this we're going to be treating in some other video. And for it to be activated, currently as you can see, they are not being highlighted. It's just there. So for it to be highlighted, if you click down, just click down on the layer, not the layer like this. You click here, click down here. So by the time I click down here, it's going to highlight. You can see one layer selected, and by the time it's selected, then this is going to be active. Now I can duplicate the layer, I can copy the layer, I can click it back. Since something is copied, I can paste the layer, and it pastes to where that where this time stamp is. So that's what that does. So I've explained what all of this does. So now for this last one, this for this last one, it does a couple of stuff. So when you click it, you are welcome to this. Now this first one I just clicked, this one, what it does is converting it into vector and into, can you see, as I click it, it changes from being pixelated to being smooth. So from vector to bitmap or to pixel, something like that. You basically won't need it most of the time. Just leave it as it is, right? Just leave it as it is. And this is for turning on the grid. You get to come really handy. You're unable to see it very well now because I have nothing going on. let me let me increase this stretch composition area. Now you can see the grid better. So you can use this to basically align what you want to do. You can use this to align. If I should bring a circle, now I can use it to align where I want to place it. If I should duplicate it, I can move this one to and just place it in between. You understand? So kind of gives you that sense of arrangement, hierarchy, and alignment, and all of that. So yeah, use the grid more often. The next thing on the list is this icon here. What does it do? Now I'm about to show you what it does. Let me bring something. Now you select it, you click on it. Can you see? If let's say you are moving, you are doing something pertaining to the, I want to see what is going on beneath what is under, you can activate it and it becomes more like translucent, but you can see what is going on beneath it, and that's basically what that is for. Then for the next one, this for camera. This camera is a more advanced feature in Alight motion. You're going to learn about that too in another video. I want to go back. Okay. I've not gotten very used to this recorder I'm using currently. Okay, so let me select the brush. Now, so the recorder, this is another feature on its own. You'll be learning about it in another video. Now the next one is this. What does it do? So basically you use this to zoom, and this is more precise, because touching the design and zooming in with your hands sometimes interferes with what you've placed on the frame, and that can mess up what you are doing if you've gone really far. You've arranged a lot of things, you stacked a lot of layers together, and now you might not even notice that you've moved something until after you've exported. Finding that problem can be, so you can just use this control to zoom as much as you want and zoom as out as you want, and this is just more precise. Now these are 6,000. I can place a circle here, change the color to white, right? Then by the time I will come out, can you see? So let's say I'm animating with my camera, I can just zoom in, right? I can just zoom in and just takes me into that level that I want. So it's really helpful. So basically we've talked about everything that you are going to be welcomed with upon opening the project in Alight motion. That's basically everything that you're seeing currently before you start reading anything. So we've talked about all of this. So this up here, the settings, is basically what you saw when you're about to open the project file. So that's like, let's say you made a mistake while opening it and you change your mind, you want to make a correction, you want to recreate, you want to readjust the aspect ratio of the video, you want to change the frame rate, you want to change the background, you can do all of that by clicking on the setting button. And when you are done with your design, let's make a very, very simple design. Bring in a circle, right? Add a keyframe. Don't worry about this, I'm just trying to show you the last last thing on the top there. Bring in this stretch composition area, turn this to black, bring it to the bottom, and voila. Okay, these are the keyframe. Do not worry about all of this yet, and we play. Perfect. And so this button at the top, this is what it does. This button, yes, what does it do? it helps you export. So clicking on it, I will come with this, and I'm trying to teach all of this. So by the time you get into more, you won't be bothered. You won't bother or start wondering what is it that I pressed and all of that. So by the time you click, by the time you comes here, you have the video. Here you can change your mind and change the aspect, change the quality and all of that. You can export it as the current one as PNG. So it just gives you this screen as a PNG file that you can use, and you can just save that if that's what you want. You can turn into an image sequence. I don't advise you to that. You can do a GIF. That's very nice. Just like a repeated kind of video. Let me show you how it looks. It's just going to be repeated, something like that. Now GIF, folks, just keep playing and keep playing, but it's usually at a very lesser quality. That's basically what that does. And the video, you can just export it as video, and in a few minutes it exports, and you click on the save button. You click on the save button here or share, but basically just save. You can share anywhere you like, right? So that's basically about that. You can play to preview. If you're fine with it, you save. And that's basically that for that. See you in the next video.